Oh, James, well, if you drink Starbucks coffee, you're not able to be involved with our movement because we only drink fair trade organic coffee from the Himalayas.
And of course, and I'm sure you're probably sitting in the same situation that you could be at a Starbucks in about 90 seconds, probably, just like me.
Yeah, there's one in the library here at the university. They
Hmm.
have them in all the airports now. You go get your pat down and you have a nice cafe, cappuccino, whatever.
So, starting November 1st, Starbucks will begin collecting donations of $5 or more from customers to stimulate U.S. job growth through its Jobs for USA program. Customers who make the donation will receive a wristband with the word indivisible printed on it.
From the makers of the bailout.
Exactly. So this is being fronted in a partnership with something called Opportunity Finance Network that is, like I said, bankrolled by Bank of America and Goldman and Deutsche and JP Morgan and Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley. And there's a nice, long, illustrious history of Starbucks and the Obama-Messiah working hand in hand. There's the Pelosi Venti vouchers Starbucks bailout story from 2008. There's Oh, yeah. On Election Day 2008, Starbucks offered a free cup of coffee to anybody who voted. Not necessarily voted for Obama, but of course, they're all in major, city areas where most folks are going to vote
Well,
for whatever has the D after their
coffee
name.
is a $55 billion a year industry. And of course, Starbucks has monopoly on much of that. And so in other words, it's a big lobby. And anytime we see these lobbies, and now with corporations being able to donate as individuals, you're going to see more of this, more of the corporate world getting involved, namely Starbucks with their new logo that doesn't actually have words in it, of
Oh,
some
really?
creepy figure. I'm sure there's all sorts of symbolism behind this new logo. Can I play this clip real quick
Oh,
that
yeah.
that you had on the article? Let's listen to this story about the demands of customers paying an extra $5 on top of that $10 cup of coffee already. Check it out.
Good morning, I'm Chuck Pierce, and you're watching the Financial News Network. Coffee retailer Starbucks is expecting customers will be willing to pay $5 more when they grab a coffee on their morning run.
Yeah, right.
Beginning November 1st, Starbucks will start gathering $5 or more from patrons to inspire customers' U.S. job growth through its program called Jobs for USA. The coffee chain teamed up with nonprofit company Opportunity Finance Network that works with an estimated 200 community development financial institutions to supply private loans to small businesses and community groups. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz said, quote, "This is about using Starbucks scale for good." He also noted that he thinks that he feels responsible for the work on some of its effort to move the U.S. economy. Starbucks hires about 200 people a day in the U.S. as
Jeez.
piece of its effort to modernize thousands of stores and add an extra 200 locations in the next year.
Now,
Starbucks has a potential upside of 21.9% based on a current price of $37.29 and an average consensus analyst price target of $45.47. For more updates, keep it right here.
All right, so there you go.
Well, I was going to say I like the irony of it talking about small business loans. Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of like to open an independent coffee shop. Oh wait, that's right. None of them ever last because they all get put out of business by the loss leader operation of places like Starbucks. Same thing Walmart does to your local grocery stores. Drive down wages, drive down prices, destroy the mom and pops. Then they'll close those superfluous and all the extra Walmarts and supercenters they've built up, and that's how it works. That's how gangsters go.
All right. Well, another end of the spectrum here, I found this article actually. One of the people that post on my site found it and posted it, so I'm glad you wanted to talk about it. Another mass animal die-off. Millions of bees mysteriously die in my home state of Florida. Now, we've been talking about the bees on and off and what the deal is with the bees. And a lot of people quote Albert Einstein and him saying that if the bees were to go extinct, that humanity would be extinct shortly after. And although that, from what I understand, has been shown to be not an actual quote from him, I do believe that there's something to that because, again, as you know, with the Food World Order site that you run, and your awareness of what they're trying to do to control our food, pollinators are an extremely important aspect to our food supply. They are behind a lot of the food that we take for granted, and without them, we're in a sticky situation.
And for me, it has been a part of what was seemingly, and you and I may have talked about this in the past, that it seemed like 2011 was kicked off with mass animal die-offs and all the bird deaths. And then as the months have gone by through this year, there's the dead bird events, the dead fish events, the millions of dead anchovies floating to the surface, and just all these kind of... It makes me wonder, what's going on? And let's tie it right back to the Occupy movement, that of course people are going to talk about, global warming and all of those things. So that'd be an interesting thing to maybe throw in and say, okay, I won't talk about 9/11 truth if you won't talk about anthropogenic man-made global warming. They probably wouldn't go for that, though.
Yeah. Has Al Gore gone down to the Occupy movement yet? I'm waiting to see him.
I don't know. But, and that we didn't even touch on that when we were discussing it mainly, and we're back on Occupy again. So when you see people like Michael Moore or Tom Morello of Rage Against the Soundgarden,
Susan Sarandon,
and you see all these people come out, it's like, you guys work for these multinational corporations. And do you think Michael Moore, with his agent Ari Emanuel, who's portrayed as Ari Gold in the HBO show Entourage.
Yeah, Ram's brother is actually Ari Gold from Entourage.
Sons of an Irgun terrorist. And do you think, and if you've ever even watched Entourage or watch, media behind the scenes stuff, one little thing you say could, damage that film you're about to release, and all your PR people and handlers or agents are going to go, oh my God, why did you say that negative thing about your movie that's about to come out? Do you really think that Ari Emanuel and the Hollywood machinery would let Michael Moore run his mouth about this kind of stuff if it were actually a threat to the system? I think it's the same thing, with someone like Tom Morello, who, like I said, Rage Against the Soundgarden. It's like, oh, you work for Universal and BMG and major multinational corporations. Yes, they still do good activist work. But again, it just makes me wonder, would you guys really be allowed to say this by, your paymasters if it were really going to be a threat?
What do you think about this Dylan Radigan guy? Have you come across him yet?
I think, he's said and, had great segments and things on his show. I think he's just the kind of fake left counterpart to the Glenn Beck, fake conservative. Because MSNBC they've staked out the position, at least on TV, of, we're the fake liberal network. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know about this Dylan guy. He's been making the rounds, it seems. He actually went down there and was talking to the protesters, and I heard what he had to say, but like you said, I do think it's kind of the co-opted version of the Tea Party for the left.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's been the speculation, about the whole Occupy thing. Is this, well, the left has really wanted, their kind of Tea Party movement. So maybe this is the beginning of that. But as we've said before, the Tea Party movement is just the co-opted, neutered version of what was the more libertarian Ron Paul campaign for liberty in the Federal Reserve, in the drug wars, in the wars abroad, personal responsibility, and all those things have been kind of taken away and misdirected. And you won't hear any Tea Party people talking about ending the drug war, ending the wars. They got co-opted. So that is maybe what we're looking at with this kind of situation, is to not let people like Michael Moore or Tom Morello or any of the other kind of talking heads who, live in Los Angeles, they're celebrities. Now, I'm not one of those kind of people who say, shut up and sing, you're a singer, I don't care about your political. Of course they have their right, and they have just as much reason to speak out on issues as anyone else does.
No, I got a lot of friends that are in the music biz and do a lot of great work and include me on their gigs and have given me the opportunity to speak in front of thousands of people. Michael Franti, I don't know if you know him. Uh-huh. He's kind of popular. He was at the Occupy stuff just jamming out, just hanging out, jamming out. And a lot of these guys, I guess, they they have some good stuff. And the good thing is that they reach a lot of people.
They
But
do.
as far as I can tell, James, if you reach a lot of people and you don't take advantage of that, then you're a part of the problem.
And then when you see folks who do take advantage of using that huge, bullhorn or pedestal or, speaking platform, they get whacked.
That's true. Look at John Lennon. The list goes on and on and on. And folks, we'll pick it up in just a moment to talk about some other issues. Putin from Russia over there is acting all crazy and wants a Eurasian Union, and we'll talk about that and so much more. A little bit about the hackers. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's the Bob Tuskin Show.